So, this is part 8 to my witchcraft experience. I'm gonna jump right into it. So in part 7, I spoke about a karmic soulmate, and I told you that in part 8, I'd tell you what that is. So, a karmic soulmate is a soulmate that you are brought together with specifically to learn a lesson that you failed to master in a previous lifetime. These relationships are often really passionate, but they are not meant to last. It don't matter how good it feels. And the crazy part about it is a relationship that we need in order to grow. And the even crazier part is that when you find your twin flame, your karmic soulmate is not far behind. Their sole purpose is to keep you from your twin flame. And this woman, she did her damnedest to do just that. Tried to kill my damn wife and tried everything she had in her power to keep me from my wife. She damn sure fulfilled her purpose. Damn sure played her part. So the girl can no longer read me, so I did get a break. But I still had some hate in my heart for my wife. So me and the girl were separated at this time, but man, I still felt her pulling on my spirit. I still felt her pulling on my energy. So I decided to go to therapy. So I go to therapy, man, and my therapist is this Hispanic lady. Didn't think anything of it. I sit down in front of her, I tell her what's going on. I just let her have it. I wasn't trying to play with nobody, didn't have time to fuck around. I let her know. I'm dealing with this woman and she has witchcraft on me. I don't know if you believe in that stuff, but tell me right now. If you don't, and you gonna call me crazy, let me know. And I get up respectfully. This lady looks at me and tells me, I believe in it, and I don't think you crazy. I put love spells on my boyfriend all the time. Man, I looked at this damn woman, and I ain't mean to look at her like she was crazy, but in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Done fuck around and found another one. And this lady looking at me with a straight face like what the fuck she just said was normal. And then she proceeds to tell me he was crazy as hell, so she had to leave him. You don't say. I bet he was fucking crazy. Women just, I don't know. A lot of women use love spells and magic to get these men to love them, not knowing that there's a price to be paid. One rule in magic is everything has a price. So when you force this man to love you and you plan on his free will, one of the prices oftentimes is that this man is obsessed with you. That can lead to him being overly clingy. That can lead to him hurting you. That can lead to him being overly jealous. That can lead to that man killing you. You cannot go around putting love spells on people. But anyway, man, I'm thinking all of this inside of my head. I wouldn't dare tell this woman this shit to her face. Cause hell, at this point, I'm nervous as hell. I'm thinking everybody putting spells on me. So the fact that she did this shit to her fucking boyfriend or baby daddy, whoever, I have no doubt she wouldn't mind tearing my ass up too. So I sat my ass in that damn chair. I let her finish talking. And I kept my composure. So fast forward, man, we had about 5 or 6 sessions. She taught me a little bit about witchcraft and how love spells work. So as time went by, I began to get a sense of relief going to her because she was teaching me about this stuff and how to essentially fight back. So her putting the stuff on her boyfriend kind of worked out in my favor. Or so I thought. So on one of our sessions, man, she gave me a hug. And she reached in her drawer and she gave me something. Now typically, she handed me cards with the date of our next appointment on it, so I was used to taking things from her. So she reached out with her palm facing downwards and her fist clenched, and she dropped something in my hand and said, here, take this and put it in your pocket and keep it there. So I took it. It felt smaller than a damn business card. So I take it from her and I open my hand and I say, what the hell is this? It was a pendant that was a hand with an eye in the middle of it. I asked her what it was and she said it was an evil eye. It's supposed to protect you from negative energies. Now, I hadn't seen this thing before. I had never heard of it before, so I was kind of confused and I was kind of scared at the same time, but she told me to put it in my pocket and keep it there at all times. And then she told me to leave because her next client was coming in, so I just held it in my hand as I walked out. And when I went to my truck, I sat in my truck and I just held it in my hand like, man, I do not want to bring this home, man. I don't even want to put this shit in my pocket. I don't want to put it in my car. I don't know what the fuck this is, man. So I threw it out, and then I drove off. Now later on that night, in my bed, as I'm asleep, I had this dream. This very deep and dark and very unsettling dream that woke me up out of my sleep. So in this dream, it was me and Lovejaw Lacey. And me and this woman were both in hell. sitting on a throne like we were king and queen. And before us, there were thousands of demons, legions of demons on their knees, and they were worshiping us as their king and queen. And while they were worshiping us, she was happy as can be. But me, I was not. It's almost like she had died and she knew she was dead and she accepted her fate. But it's like I was in hell, but I was alive because I had all of my memories. I had all of my feelings back when I was alive. Now, as I'm sitting on the throne with this woman, I was looking up. And as I was looking up, I could see heaven. And I could see my wife, I could see my mother, I could see my family. And I was reaching out for them. And they were reaching out for me with tears in their eyes. And they were mumbling words, but I could not hear them. Whenever I tried to pray, while I was in hell, I could not mutter the name Jesus. And I could not say a prayer to him. Whenever I tried to, I bit my tongue, and it caused me great pain. That said, it would make me angry. And whenever I got angry, the demons began to roar, and they began to praise me even more. It's almost like they worshipped my hate. They worshipped my anger. They worshipped my rage. And I was absolutely terrified. I was shaking in my sleep as I was shaking in the dream. And then the dream fast-forwarded, and it showed me the end result between me and Lovejoy Lacey. In this dream, this woman came to my apartment. She lured me outside, and she shot and she killed me. And as I fell to the ground, bleeding out, dying, she walked towards me and she laid beside me. She looked me in my eyes, she held my face, and she smiled as she put the gun to her head and she committed suicide. When her blood and my blood merged, our fates were sealed. And this is what she had planned all along. But that was not the end of the dream. There's more. So fast forward, I'm in this room and it's dark and I've never been here before. But I saw Lovejoy Lacey there. I saw her praying on her knees. She was praying to this altar. It was pitch black dark around 3 in the morning, and the room was covered with lit candles. On her altar was pictures of me, pictures of her, pictures of me and her. There were 4 black coffin nails beside a piece of paper with my name and her name, along with what seemed to be about 20 mason jars. They all had this brown substance inside, and they all were labeled with my name on them. And I see her praying like her life depended on it. And as I see her praying, she stops and she turns around and she looks dead at me as if she knew that I was watching her in spirit. She looked at me and she smiled and she continued to pray, unfazed and unbothered. And then I woke up from the dream, covered in sweat, shaking and hyperventilating. God told me immediately, if you do not let go of the hate that you have for your wife, this will be the outcome for you. I began to break down and cry. I got out of my bed and I walked around my house and I began to pray. And as I began to pray, visions of every foul thing anybody had ever done to me began to fill my conscience. Not only just my wife, the people in the military, my mother, family members, friends, and I absolutely went fucking ballistic. I grew enraged. I threw everything off the dressers, snatched all the covers off the bed, and I began to scream. In the midst of my madness, my phone rang. It was my wife. I did not answer the phone at first. I was too angry. But then the phone rang again. I answered the phone, and to my surprise, she told me about the dream she had just had. She had also been inside the same room, saw the same altar with the same candles, the same jars, and the same woman. I was very surprised, but I was even more so surprised at what she said next. She said, I felt your rage. I felt your rage in my sleep. It was sickening. My whole entire body is hot. The kids are up, the kids are scared, and so am I. But that's not why I'm calling you. I'm calling you because in the midst of me suffering from your madness, I heard God give me a message to give to you. And that message is enough. Part 9 coming next. Tug of War.